Welcome to Real Estate in Real Time. I'm your host, Woody Zimmerman, here with Mark Skabowski of RE/MAX Lakes, and welcome to the show.
Here we are. Welcome back.
Yeah, happy New Year. Yeah, I was sick.
Roger set in for you. Did a fantastic job for you.
Thank you, Roger.
He rocked and rolled it.
Yeah, appreciate that. So, well, last week, you guys pretty much did a recap of 2020.
Yep.
Talked a little bit about going into 21, which we're going to talk more about here today. But obviously I missed the show. I missed the show. Sorry, I was down. I was sick.
Getting sick thing is no fun, is
it is not fun. It is not fun at all. Wow. And what I thought was a sinus infection, it turned out to be COVID. And so it was a scary time, but I'm glad I'm just over the hump.
Yeah.
That I don't have to deal with it for a while.
Right,
so.
And we are socially distant.
Yes, we are.
We did have masks on.
Yes.
Since we're going, those on the radio can't see it.
Right.
But on our YouTube channel, when they're watching it, we are socially distanced.
Yep.
Everything's been cleaned before we came in.
Of course.
I guess nowadays, in today's environment, you have to throw that out there, right?
Yeah.
Otherwise, we get lambasted.
Yes.
Well, you're violating social distancing protocols.
Yeah.
Come on, folks.
I think Roger cleans the studio about 4 times a day, so I appreciate that. So. But the numbers for 2020 turned out to be really, really good.
Yeah, they did. And when we started 2020, we had all those clear vision. We could see clearly now. All of those things going in. All I can say is thank goodness it's passed. Given what happened in 2020 with what we've dealt with, thank goodness it is gone. 2021's a new year.
Mm-hmm.
But in looking back at 2020, it might have been miserable as we were going through it, but it really did. If you just look at the numbers, and today's a numbers show, on average, the county was up 2%. So 2% year over year, when I say on average, but year over year, the county total sales volume in units was up 2%. The volume sold was up 20% year over year. That is amazing.
That is amazing.
So the overall dollars that transferred through the system year over year were up 20%. Now that's the whole county. The average sale price in the county up 17%.
Wow.
17%. Now what does that mean? When you hear the averages that are out there on all the national media, they're saying 10% year over year.
Okay.
Our county beat that.
Yeah, big time.
And if you look back through the middle of June, so mid-year when we did this show and we talked about half a year's worth of numbers, we were down like 14%.
Yeah. It was somewhat scary because the housing market seems to rule like other markets.
Right. So it accelerated.
It did.
Through, from July 1st through the end of the year, the real estate market continued to accelerate, which is not the norm. The normal sales cycle is March through September, into October a little bit, then November, December, it kind of slows down. Well, we were continuing to accelerate all the way through the year. So overall, the county finished up 2% on transactions, units sold. The average sales price up 17%. Can't continue. I said that every year. How can this continue to happen? Wages don't go up that much.
No.
To where affordability is definitely going to come in. And part of what's driving that is in our county, the number of homes available for sale were down 10%. 10%. The quantity available, quantity active down, actually it's 9%, but it's 9 and a little bit.
Yeah.
But say 10% year over year, the number of units available. So lower inventory, high demand, what happens to the price?
Supply and demand, yep.
Exactly, price is going to go up.
Yeah.
So, for the county, the numbers were out of this world. For our standard Warsaw zip code, and again, the reason that we use that is it kind of takes some of the lake stuff out. It's, the county seat, the highest population center in our county, all of those things. So Warsaw 46580, overall, year over year, the number of units sold was up 6%. Now that's more in line. I mean, 6%, that's pretty good. So 6% more houses sold in 2020 than were sold in 2019.
Yeah, 2019. Okay.
The volume sold was up 11%. 11%, and the average sales price is up 5%. Now that's inching closer to what the norm was before. Before the crash of 2008, 2009, I've been in it a long time, so now I'm looking back.
Yeah.
I lived through those days, but on average, before things went south in 08, 09, and as the economy rebuilt itself, we would see between 3 and 4% price appreciation year over year. So this is almost normalizing.
Okay.
Warsaw is now normalizing. COVID impacted the lake market, and again, that's why the county was so high. I can say that without digging deeper into any numbers. There wasn't a lake house that came on the market that didn't sell that was priced right in a decent spot.
Yeah.
There weren't too many out there. They were selling just as fast as standard residential, and that's unusual.
Okay. Wow.
So, lake market definitely helped our county. So, I don't care what people say, we are a vacation destination.
Yes.
And COVID led to that. People were vacating the cities, and when Roger and I talked last week, there's been a migration, people to the suburbs.
Yes.
I think what we saw were Indy, Chicago, folks that had second homes here were coming here, or they were looking to buy here to get out of that higher population density.
Well, I think that plays into the fact that so many people are now working from home.
Absolutely.
And companies are allowing it, and they're not going to change.
That's not going to shift anytime soon. It's a fundamental change in how we do business, is what 2020 brought us.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Well, we're going to talk more about 2021 coming up here next. You're listening to Real Estate in Real Time. Welcome back. You're listening to Real Estate in Real Time. I'm your host, Woody Zimmerman, here with Mark Skabowski of RE/MAX Lakes, and just took a look at the market overall, and just the numbers for 2020 just turned out to be amazing. Compared to what it could have been.
To what it could have been. And in March of 2020, we all thought the world was going to end.
Yeah.
When I think it was March 24th, we went on lockdown, or a majority of the state went on lockdown. Some of the states, did that in advance of us. But the fact is, the real estate market did what no one expected it to do and took off. So is that trend going to continue into 2021? I don't know the answer to that. I guess if I did, I'd be, I'd have that crystal ball
That's right.
out, and I would know. All I can say is, if it does, prices are going to go higher. If interest rates stay where they're at. On average, a 30-year fixed rate, I saw an article last week that said 2.66%.
Wow.
Is the national average for 30-year fixed rates. So make it 2 3/4.
Okay.
A year and a half ago, we were talking about 4.5%.
There goes the
interest rates.
Yeah.
And this year, we're at 2.5%.
Yeah.
So it's just amazing. How does that continue? How can we continue with interest rates so low? I don't know. But it's definitely pushing demand. It's pushing folks to, hey, I should get in on the boom. Whether it's refining your existing home.
Right.
I get notices all the time. Hey, you could go to a 15-year rate and still save compared to where you are. And I'm at 3.25% interest on my mortgage.
Yeah.
Which
is amazing.
It's an amazing interest rate. When I did that, it's like, how in the heck? I'm considering it. Why should I not go to it? Because I'd do a 15 instead of a 30. Why not? Because I pay ahead anyway. So if I could reduce my total term of the loan, why wouldn't I?
Yeah.
When I saw 15-year loans at 2.17%.
Wow.
It's amazing. So 2021, the Fed is committed that they're going to keep interest rates low.
Okay.
Now they could always change, right? Just like politicians, they could always change. They tell you what you want to hear, and then as things go, well, guess what? We're going to change our mind. We're going to do something different. But the Fed is, they're trying. They've told us that they're going to keep the rates low through 2022, maybe even to 2023. If that continues, something has to break. Something has to change.
Well, it seems to be helping to fuel our economy.
It definitely is.
Because like you said, people are doing refining, or they're moving. With this whole working at home, you said, we've talked about, people are looking for that extra bedroom to turn into an office.
Right.
So they're making changes, and so and all that. When you're buying and selling, that fuels the economy.
It definitely does. So think about that. If somebody refis their house and they get a lower payment, they have more disposable income to do other things with.
To spend.
Right? What is that other thing? Right now, what we're seeing is an increase in uptick in savings, which is a good thing. Because, I know for a few years people were complaining the national average for savings is going down. People are spending everything they make. They're not setting aside for retirement. They're not setting aside for this, that, or the other thing. So if you can reduce that overall house payment, which for most people is their single largest monthly expense, is the cost of living, their home, whether it's rent, whether it's ownership, if they can do something different with that money, it does definitely stimulate the economy. So the only thing that we're seeing is due to inventory being as low as it is, prices are going up. They're probably moving to where it's going to be out of reach for some folks. Now, again, interest rates have helped that on the affordability standpoint.
Right.
Because, as we did last year, and I don't have the table with me, but it's a significant difference between a 2 3/4 and a 4% interest rate, regardless of whether you're financing 100, 200, 300,000. So that's disposable income that you can do something different with. But if interest rates stay low, prices are going to continue to go up. What we need to do is see more construction. We need to see some more new construction come in, more housing available.
And we are seeing that in our market.
Yeah, we are. We're beginning to see some, builders take off again. If you go out across from Depew, there's a neighborhood out there, and again, I don't have any allegiance to any of these companies. I'm not advertising for them. Bella Augusta, there's a development up there that as soon as they put something up, it goes. Park Ridge, as soon as something goes up, it goes. They're almost totally built out in Park Ridge on the south side of town. But there isn't the new development. It just came out here in the last week or so. Madison, they're tearing the old Madison school down, and they're going to put up some, affordable housing. Well, define affordable? I don't know. I haven't studied it. I don't know exactly what it's going to look like, but the local developments, they are out there. And the builders are finally coming back. Eagle Crest on the south side of Park Ridge. Houses are going up there like nobody's business. And that, from an industry standpoint, hallelujah. We're starting to see the builders get back into the game. They dropped out in 08 and 09 due to the economy. They're getting back into the game. And hopefully that new construction will alleviate some of that upward pricing pressure. So to where homes are still going to be affordable for the average buyer. That's what we're hoping for.
More inventory.
More inventory, I think, is going to help us, and we'll see that this year. I think that will come to fruition this year. Now, granted, they can only build so many. They can't build enough to alleviate it in 1 month, but it's definitely a good start.
And I was saying that all of 2020 is like, why are we not building? Why are we not? But it's materials. We're just so expensive. But finally, it's happening. Because nothing happens until somebody sells something, and then it's a domino effect.
Then it happens. You got it.
So keep it going. All right, Mark, your contact information?
Sure. Our website's lakes-realtors.com. Phone number's 574-834-1233. Had to think about that for a second.
Very good. Okay, great. Thanks for listening to the show. Have yourself a wonderful weekend. You've been listening to Real Estate in Real Time.